Y'all. So Shaboozey's Met Gala look alone had folks convinced his Hollywood humiliation initiation was already in full swing because, basically, it confirmed everything Katt Williams and Jaguar Wright have been screaming for years. See, as the years go by, the Met Gala has become less and less about fashion and more about who's going to sell that soul next under the guise of couture. And y'all, the 2025 Met Gala did not disappoint. The red carpet was out here giving looks, dandyism with a splash of ritual sacrifice, as per usual. But before we even get into the humiliation ritual mess, let's not forget, the Met Gala is also Hollywood's favorite stage to flex their wildest fashion stunts and give us a little peek into whatever chaos they've been cooking up lately. Now you know Rihanna fashionably debuted her third baby bump like she was dropping a new Fenty line. And Andre 3000 rolled through holding the whole industry down on his back, as a piano. Now, I don't know about y'all. I know it wasn't real, at least it didn't seem like it, but it was looking heavy. Like, sir, what were you doing with the trash bag? But one of the real eye raisers of the night was the new country rap poster child, Shaboozey. He just made his first Met Gala debut, and let's just say, it didn't give cowboy. It was giving. Confused flower girl at a cursed wedding like, let's just say, it didn't give cowboy, but it definitely gave everybody at the bar getting tipsy. 'Cause, are you drunk? It was giving like, sassy flower girl at a wedding. It was a lot of things, but not giving. It could really only be described as, like, a cropped baby doll blazer stitched together with turquoise beads, grandma's pearls, matching a grill, and then this Sunday service hat. It was giving welcome to the initiation. And the internet had a time. Social media was on the go, calling out not just his outfit, but the entire energy around it. Like, why is it always the rising black male artist that's gotta get tossed into this feminization machine the second they start trending on Billboard? Because listen, Shaboozey is kind of low-key sexy, but they had him out here looking bad. One user actually brought this up on X, or Twitter for the folks still in denial, and summed it up perfectly. Why does every black man in Hollywood get forced into feminization once they reach stardom? Important to note, though, this was a user who identifies as gay. But even they added, even my ass wouldn't wear this. So, let's not pretend that this was a personal or free will fashion choice either. Because if you zoom in on Shaboozey's face, that man looked like he has seen some things backstage, and he was not glowing, he was glitching like a delayed dose of deja vu. This felt like another classic Hollywood humiliation ritual. You know the drill. Dress them up like a caricature, throw them on a red carpet, laugh behind velvet curtains, and call it high fashion couture. We've seen it play out before. It's always the rising star who finally gets that coveted invite, only to be styled like a Sims character having a mental breakdown. Meanwhile, the theme was literally about black influence in fashion. And yet, Shaboozey decided this was the look to put on? As the only black cowboy rapper hybrid? Y'all, something stinks in the water, and it's not the perfume blended with desperation and industry favors. Let's not even start on the comments under Shaboozey's own Instagram post. Because y'all, they gave it to him, and his followers did not come to play. One person flat out said, "They got you dressed like a woman." Another one hit even harder. "Every time we got a strong black man making moves, they find a way to make him look feminine. Stay woke. Don't wear the dress." This other comment read, "Well, they got bro too." And then came the talks about Hollywood's humiliation ritual. Rapper Shaboozey appears to be the latest target, humiliated at the 2025 Met Gala, arriving in feminine clothing, covered with pearls, said the anonymous user. Well, y'all, this isn't just a fit, it was a message. And the message was pretty loud. Welcome to Hollywood, where the price of fame might just be your dignity. And we're not about to let that slide. So now folks want to act like Shaboozey showing up to the Met Gala in that outfit was just another fashion choice? Be so for real. Somebody online even tried to say this look wasn't too far off from his usual vibe, only that his stylist Anastasia just made a me version of it. Unless usual now means visibly uncomfortable and something that screams manufactured, then no, we're not buying it. Not even if it was on clearance. Because this man has given us cowboy boots and rugged, masculine denim energy for years. Now suddenly, he's dipped in pearls, rocking a cropped blazer and a Sunday service hat like he's going to Solange's wedding? Yeah, no. Make it make sense, y'all. Apparently, his stylist Anastasia just did a me version of his usual style police. But let's not ignore the desperation in the defense. Someone even dragged Prince into it like that's going to change the math. But Prince wore heels. And that's exactly the point. The folks were like, yes, Prince owned it and chose his lane. He was consistent in his style and identity from the jump. So there's a difference between authentic artistry and Hollywood's little puppeteer games. You can't compare a cultural icon who ran the game on his own terms with someone who looked like they got peer-pressured backstage before the carpet. And Shaboozey didn't just wear something different. He pulled a full 180 at the most visible event of the year. Timing? Well, yeah, timing is everything. When folks pull a move like this only once they touch Hollywood's golden carpet, it starts to reek of something else. Y'all can call it style exploration if you want to, but a whole lot of folks are seeing ritual energy, and Katt Williams has been sounding the alarm on this mess. He's been dragging the industry by his full-lace front for years now. Remember what he said in that Club Shay Shay interview with Shannon Sharpe, right? He clocked Kevin Hart, straight up, talking about how Kev swore he wasn't going to wear a dress, until suddenly he did. And then tried to act like, I made my own decision. No, you didn't. Not really. You made the decision after it was handed to you with a smile and $1 million deal behind it.
Told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
Y'all, that's the whole point. These dudes don't start out trying to play dress up for headlines. They get pulled in, tested, humiliated, and told it's fashion. It's more like, wear this or stay broke. And when Katt brought that up, it kind of started to make sense. Since then, folks have been on the lookout. Not going to lie, it happens to way more artists than we care to admit. See, the thing is, this isn't just about an outfit, it's about a pattern. A nasty little checklist that gets ticked off once a black man starts getting too popular. First, it's the pearls. Then it's the agenda. Then, boom, he's everywhere, but not quite himself anymore. And don't get it twisted. It's not about hating feminine expression. It's about the fact that this doesn't feel like his expression. There's a difference between being soft and being stripped. So if you think this was just Shaboozey trying something new, bless your sweet little heart. But so many others are seeing the humiliation ritual for exactly what it is. A twisted Hollywood handshake, dressed up in sequins and fake empowerment. Now the question is, what exactly did he have to trade in exchange for that red carpet moment?
Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits.
Cause listen, Shaboozey isn't the first person, and definitely won't be the last, to shred into Hollywood looking like he lost his bet with the stylist. Because this whole feminization of the black man saga has been running longer than some folks' careers. And baby, the receipts are endless. Whether they play along or push back, the outcome is messy. Let's just talk about these men who've already been through this so-called initiation, and how it flipped their careers, their image, and in some cases, their whole energy. Cause once you put on that dress, baby, Hollywood will never let you forget it.
But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
should happen.
Is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay.
Remember when Dave Chappelle started speaking about illing tea, right? He straight up said Hollywood kept trying to throw him in a dress for no reason, like no storyline, no context, just girly vibes and not the good kind. It got so wild that the man had to walk away from a $50 million Comedy Central bag just to avoid it. Chappelle was so pressed about this that he legit packed up, ghosted everybody, and flew to Africa just to catch his breath and probably link up with his ancestors real quick. 'Cause when it gets that deep, only the motherland can help you get through it. Later on Oprah, Dave kept it a buck. He said the pressure was nonstop. One moment that really stuck with him was when Martin Lawrence told him he was just throwing on a dress for a quick sketch, and Dave was like, "Nah, this is the last straw." But he made it clear, it was never about the scene. It was about the whole system. A system that, in his eyes, had been trying to break a black man down slowly through comedy, through roles, through little jokes that hit a little too hard to be funny. And now that's exactly what folks are seeing Shaboozey do. But y'all, the playbook ain't even changed.
Dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, why all these brothers gotta wear a dress? This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a and he put this dress on and what? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable.
Interesting, Dave Chappelle, too, was labeled difficult to work with just because he put his foot down. Dave Chappelle wasn't the only one pulling back the curtain on Hollywood's shady antics. And neither was Chappelle the only one who's had to walk away from the bag to protect his peace and sanity. Because even Mr. Denzel Washington had to make that tough call early in his career. He turned down a fat paycheck for a role that just didn't sit right with him.
Why?
Because Sidney Poitier, Hollywood legend and walking blueprint, warned him early on that one role could change his whole image. Now, the role in question had Denzel playing a character that basically made a mockery of his own race, and even made light of slavery. Like, absolutely not. Hard stop. The plot followed a black man who was accused of forcing himself on a white woman. And then they tried to take him out first by electric chair, then by hanging. But somehow, he survives both, then proceeds to become a cult hero. It was wild. But to drive the point home, Denzel said there were some Jewish people in the audition room who said, "It is funny," and he replied, "Yeah, it's like you bring some Jewish people into a room, and they think it's a shower, but it's a gas." And they said, "Right." And I said, "Right. That ain't funny." So to me, it's not funny to put a rope around my effing neck. And I made a point, and Denzel was like, "Yeah, no thanks." He knew that kind of rope would stick with him forever, and he wasn't about to let that be his legacy.